Hello and welcome to another episode of the Full Force Weekly, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostik80. For today's episode, I am joined by the awesome Justin, GeneralsJoes Bell. In this regular video series, we round up all the week's news in the world of G.I. Joe Full Force Weekly. Right. That's all I'm doing for that bit. That's all we're going to get. Just that little segment. Okay, Justin, thanks for jumping on again, mate. Really appreciate it. So starting off, we have some gaming news. Operation Blackout was released on PC last Tuesday for the bargain price of $23.99. The additional deluxe content was also available for a special bundle price or as separate components. The sale's still on and will go up to the 21st of December, so if you haven't jumped on that yet and you want to, now would be a great time. Histank also reported that the aiming mechanics and general controls had been improved on, courtesy of bug fixes, as well as improvements in performance issues that plagued some console users. All good stuff if you're a PC Gamer Joe fan. Justin, have you noticed any of those aforementioned issues so far in your experience with the game?
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't know if it'll just be kind of a smoother gameplay. I mean, there's been a little bit of glitchy stuff here and there, but I just thought it was part of the normal sort of gameplay. I didn't realize there were any real bugs that needed to be fixed. But hey, I'm glad to hear that for the PC users. I mean, I never really had a problem with the aiming myself, but I use that little auto aim where you just kind of push the thumb button and they automatically do it. Yeah. So I don't know if there's been anything wrong with that or not.
I'm playing it on like the lowest level possible as well, so
yeah.
Hopefully it just does everything automatically for me. Like just
I'm old and unskilled. I just wanted to just sit down and I'm not about challenging myself.
Same. Like my hands don't work the same as they used to. Like they've gone all chubby and fat, and now they can't operate a controller properly.
I don't even know when it happened. I mean, I used to be like a video game whiz. I could sit down and I beat almost every game I played, and now for whatever reason I can't function anymore.
It's just spinning around, shooting up in the air.
Yeah, I've played a few like online. I used to play Halo multiplayer online and stuff, and it's embarrassing. So I just don't do that anymore.
I've never bothered with online multiplayer, mainly because I'm just so I suppose I get competitive as well, but I just know in that situation it'll just be dead immediately, and I can't be bothered. I want to enjoy the game. So I just
end up with 8-year-olds calling me names and teabagging me and insulting my mom and stuff. And it's just, I can get that at home. I don't need to be online to do that.
That's hideous. Yeah, cool. So I mean, obviously PC gamers have this game now. It's on Steam. Please stop messaging us and asking us when it's going to happen. It's out now. You can go to Steam. There'll be links in the description and you can download that. And also getting the deluxe content, I must admit, is really cool, especially the digital art book, which has loads of inside information about how the game was developed and stuff like that, but also some really cool kind of concepts and bits of art from the game. So it's really interesting to get that. And the soundtrack is wicked as well. And to have those little, if you don't have a record player and you don't have the vinyl, it's a great way to hear some of those old school 80s classics too. Then again, it's streaming on everything pretty much anyway, so you can hear it. But that is Operation Blackout on PC. Next up, and kind of I think more interesting for us, Justin, in 12-inch news, ThreeZero dropped more images.
12 inches are very interesting, yes.
Well, yeah, for us. ThreeZero dropped more images of their Fig Zero 12-inch G.I. Joe Storm Shadow figure, as well as pre-orders for the awesome toy earlier this week. And some of the questions we had when they teased the first image a few weeks back were answered. He will be $149, or he is $149, and he will come with 2 katanas, a double sheath and quiver secondary, a recurve bow, 4 arrows, nunchaku that store in his belt, and multiple hands for posing and using the different accessories. The hood is indeed cloth and can be put over the head sculpt to mimic the V2 and 3 versions from the vintage series, and from what we can ascertain, the torso is covered in a tactical vest, so articulation does exist beneath it. Justin, now that you've seen more images, have you changed your mind at all, or are you even more happy with what you've seen?
Oh, it's fantastic. I think it looks gorgeous. I didn't change my mind at all. Actually, I pre-ordered it at Big Bad Toy Store already, and I'm really excited to kind of, it said not releasing until like third quarter of 2021. So it'll be a little while before I get to get my hands on it. But it's an awesome looking figure. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that is a long, let's say it's a long time to wait, but this year went so dramatically fast that I feel like I'll just, look up.
Yeah, March lasted like 6 months and then the rest of it was just gone. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand
that is so true. I remember at the start of quarantine, I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a slog getting through this year.
Yeah, and
it has fizzed by. So yeah, we've even got Christmas next week. How scary is that?
We got 2 feet of snow too yesterday. I mean, it's just nuts.
Dude, it's been crazy. We had to move our car out of the car parking lot so they could plow it. So it was crazy. It's all these piles of snow everywhere. When it first fell, it was lovely and gorgeous and really serene and everything's white. And now it's already at that slushy phase. I'm not a fan. But
I love snow for like 2 hours. I'm like, oh, it looks so nice. It's great. And then I'm like, all right, get rid of this. Yeah,
now I'm freezing cold and my hands don't work and I can't play Operation Blackout. I can't aim on Operation Blackout. Coming back to that Storm Shadow figure, a couple of things that kind of came out in the visuals. Obviously, we get that bow. We did kind of surmise that was going to happen, especially when we saw the quiver on his back in the earlier teaser image. Are you kind of happy with the accessory loadout? Would you prefer more stuff?
No, I think they did great. I mean, I think he's got everything he needs to have. I think they could have gone a little crazier with some of the ninja gear, but I mean, between swords and a bow, I don't really know what else he needs. So yeah, no, I'm perfectly happy with it. I'm not one of those guys that needs his figure to come with like 47 different small accessories that he can't even hold. I'd rather he come with some smaller amount, really high quality stuff that he looks good posing with.
On the opposite,
to lose and have to keep track of.
On the opposite, I want like a tiny scroll, and I want I want every weapon that has ever been developed in that culture, in that era as well.
You didn't want one low light to come with that one bullet. You wanted it to come with a whole little box of like all of those bullets.
All of them to be removable. Yeah. Could you imagine? That would be insane. Actually, it might have been easier. It might have been easier to find. Oh, there they all are.
True. Yeah.
Another thing that a lot of people have been talking about is they think that the torso is too stiff and won't be articulated. I'm pretty sure because it says in the write-up that it's a tactical vest he's wearing, and if you look at the arms, there's a gap in there, isn't there? Like inside that sleeve. Yeah. So is that? Do you think they're going to have that articulation on the body, and then this kind of be like almost like a rubber or like a different a rubbery substance kind of vest over him?
That's what I'm betting. I mean, I think it's pretty amazing what's happened the past few years with sort of action figure design. I've got a few of those, Mezco 6-inch superhero figures where they have like that real tight fitting cloth and stuff that, even 5 or 6 years ago would have looked ridiculous on a 6-inch figure. They've got this really sleek sculpting and design mechanism now and they do like these sheaths over their joints that really seem to work really well. So I have a lot of confidence they'll be able to pull it off, but it's pretty incredible what they've been able to accomplish in action figure design technology over the past 5 or 10 years. Totally. It's pretty impressive.
I'm kind of I was a bit not annoyed, but I really wanted to see the cloth hood up because it says it's posable, so you can actually move it and put it over the top if you want to. But they didn't show an image of that, and I was kind of, oh man, I really wanted to see what it looked like. But coming back to the accessories, I'd have been happy with like a bright red backpack, 3-pronged Wolverine claw type thing. I'd have been happy with all that crap that came with V2 Storm Shadow.
The claw would have been neat. Yeah, the claw would have been neat.
But obviously, it wouldn't have had to be bright red. But I think some elements of those would have been quite cute to give him. Sure. And like I could see him rocking like a backpack at that scale as well, like with the straps and everything, and you could have like some nice stuff on there, like the rope rolled up, and a grappling hook, and there's that thing that's on his V2 backpack, which is almost like it looks like a ladder. Like it's like a bamboo ladder or something that's kind of closed up. Yeah, that would have been incredible, wouldn't it?
All right, you're starting to convince me. Maybe there's some missed opportunities for accessories there. Yeah, no, that would have been very cool. Yeah, I would have liked that. That'd have been neat if it was actually removable and kind of expandable.
Because and use it as like hang it from your shelf and have him like on it like that. But yeah, I mean, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. And to be honest, the figure as is amazing looking, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to get this in hand. Him and Snake Eyes, actually, they both look fantastic. And I like the kind of the design that they've gone with is really interesting, without being too far away from source, and without kind of doing something drastically different. They seem to have still created something that's quite original, quite unique, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's immediately identifiable as Storm Shadow, but it's got some of those more modern twists that really make it kind of a new thing, similar to sort of how they've been doing the classified stuff. Just very much calling back to the old school, but putting enough new elements in it that make it different. So I love it. Yeah, I think they created the perfect blend of vintage and modern.
And speaking of classified, classic segue there from Justin Bell. We have even more news of toys on shelves, and that is in Titan class. So Toy Shiz posted a number of images on their Instagram page earlier in the week showing the new Titan class G.I. Joe figures in Target. The figures were initially rumoured to cost $20 each, but that was a mistake based on a classified assortment SKU, and they will actually cost $9.99 per figure. Duke, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow will be in Wave 1. They are 12 inches in size, have about 3 to 5 points of articulation, we're not quite sure yet, and utilise the classified designs, with Storm Shadow finally getting his Operation Blackout website design as an action figure, albeit not the classified scale we were hoping for.
Right.
They look fun and are clearly aimed at the preschool market, low-income families, etc. Not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, I'm sure, but good to see Joe getting all sorts of product on shelves nowadays, isn't it, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I tease about the Titan class stuff, but just the fact that they're doing it, I think, is a good sign for the brand. I mean, it's, they're for a distinguished collector like myself, they don't quite meet my threshold for, but no, it's good. It's good stuff. Anytime you see a G.I. Joe toy on the shelf, it's good.
I was when they first kind of popped up, I was kind of like, it's not out of the blue, because we knew that Titan class figures were coming.
Yeah.
I think we all assumed, or we discussed this, hadn't we, as a group, that we just assumed it was going to be the movie stuff that we were going to see. Right. And what's clearly happened here is they've had to rejig that, because obviously the movie's been pushed back, it's been delayed, so they can't release the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from the film. So these kind of have cropped up, and obviously these must have been in the plans, they must have been in the pipeline as well.
Sure.
But we were just, I don't think we'd really paid attention or noticed that they were kind of going to be coming out. So it was quite a surprise to see them, actually, and to see the classified designs in that format. Now, in the past, I've never really been a fan of Titan class. I've always thought it was, I don't know, a bit gross. But having seen these, now I'm completely changed, because it's G.I. Joe, and obviously it's, that it's a complete change. I mean, how do you feel about Titan class in general, Justin?
They're not really my cup of tea. I mean, I understand what they're for. They appeal to some of the younger collectors, the kids and stuff like that. People, the real young kids, maybe 6, 7, 8, that age, who just want some big version of, their toy to knock around and play with. People who don't really care how well articulated it is. I will say, when I was 8 years old, I wouldn't have been all that interested in them, but like I said, I'm a distinguished collector. I'm not like kids today, but no, I mean, they certainly have their place. And I think for $10 for a 12-inch figure, why not? And, there's something out there for everybody.
No, I agree. I think there's that element of it being kind of aimed at a specific market, specific audience. Yeah. It's not necessarily something that a lot of collectors are going to be jumping on. I don't necessarily think it's a necessary thing to get aggressive about, though. And I've seen a lot of people get really angry about them. And I'm kind of thinking, well, you've got to kind of look at it in a way where, well, you don't have to look at it in any way, shape or form. I look at it in a way of seeing, the brand going in lots of different directions, in getting product in all sorts of different markets in all shapes and sizes. And that, again, has got to be good for the brand awareness, not necessarily just, let's get these, but to kind of like fill a shelf with multiple, different things with that brand on it. It's kind of important, I guess, isn't it? I mean, I see it.
Yeah, and these... It's not like these figures are taking away from anything else. It's not like, they did a Storm Shadow in Titan class, they're never going to do that Storm Shadow in Classified. They're not taking away from what you've got. They're just, if you don't like them, that's fine. You know, I'm not a big fan of them myself, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and say they should all be, you know, bought and thrown in a fire. I think they're fine. It's an expansion of the brand, like you said, and it's another layer of audience for G.I. Joe to appeal to younger kids who might grow up eventually to be like us and end up buying those and supporting the brand for years to come. So everybody needs a gateway. Yeah, exactly. Snobs like us, yeah.
Established snobbery, elite collectors.
That's the goal they should have, yeah.
That you should aim to be a complete D. Anyway, yeah, I've got to say, I do find them quite cute, and if I do see them in stores, I will probably more than likely pick them up. Again, $10, you can't really go wrong there, can you? And I think Phoebe,
yeah, it's a good price.
I think Phoebe wants to get involved as well, don't you, darling? Yeah, you getting involved in the show
Titan
today?
class Phoebe.
This is the Titan class Timber. We've got the black variant Titan class Timber as well. Say hi. Say hi, honey.
What's going on, Phoebe?
What's going on? Okay, that's enough of that. She's like, that's enough. I've had my time and I've had my 15 minutes of fame. Right, 15 seconds more like. Right, Justin. Well, that actually brings us, mate, to the end of the news this week. So let's, I suppose, get straight into shout-outs. Now, do you have any shout-outs this week? Or are you you don't care about anyone? You don't want to big anyone up?
All about me. I don't, it's all me.
Justin's going to shout out.
I'd like to shout out Justin Bell.
Justin's going to shout out GeneralsJoes Reborn as the premium G.I. Joe website. Actually, if you haven't checked out his classified super page, and you need to, because if you need to kind of keep up with like the images and the artwork and the what figures are coming out and what numbers they are and all that stuff, Justin has got an amazing page on GeneralsJoesReborn.com for that, which again I'll put in the old description below. Anyway, enough of shouting Justin out. Let's shout out to Nick and Mass In Demand Toys, Todd, Amber and the team at Kokomo, Chris, Kenny and the team from Toy Department, and Aaron at ROMA Collectibles for all coming together for a very special giveaway on this episode, which you can get more details on at the end of the show. Massive thank you for the generosity of all of you guys. Love you all so much. I'm also going to shout out to, we've just seen Phoebe, but my other little trooper Max, because he had surgery to remove 7 lumps from his little body a couple of days back. I know, the poor little bugger, but he's doing well. He's healing up from it with his, well, he was wearing his cone, but we've upgraded to a little sweater, so it kind of covers all of his little kind of injuries, so he can't lick at them. So he's doing much better now, and he's got his little jumper on. And hi Phoebes, thanks for that. So good boy Max and good girl Phoebes. And as always, a big shout out to my wonderful wife Kate and all the family. It's going to be difficult. Like next week, we're doing a Christmas special, so we'll be dropping it on Christmas Day because obviously I have no life, and you know that's what happens when you do a podcast. So we're going to be dropping a Christmas special on Christmas Day. Phoebe's excited for it, and it will obviously we're going to have a lot of the presenters doing top 3s of the year. And then we're gonna, the week after that on the Friday, we're dropping a New Year's Day special. So again, no life. I'll be seeing the new year in editing, which would be amazing. Justin, you looking forward to those specials?
Yeah, absolutely. They sound like fun. I can't wait to check them out.
You should spoil your top 3s.
Hopefully.
You should spoil your top 3s right now. Just ruin it for everyone.
If I had them, I would. I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Not a problem. Well, anyway, Justin, mate, thanks for jumping on and doing this kind of rather brief but still quality Full Force Weekly. And I'll be seeing you again, obviously, next week for the Christmas special. To everyone out there, thanks for watching. Check us out on all the platforms. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching the Full Force Weekly. Massive thank you to my awesome co-host, Justin Bell. See you next time. And as always, Justin, you know what to do. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Full Force. Absolutely disgusting.
I feel dirty.
Competition time! We have a super special Christmas giveaway this week, courtesy of not one but 4 toy retailer giants: In Demand Toys, Kokomo Toys, the Toy Department and ROMA Collectibles. One lucky listener/viewer could get their hands on all this lovely G.I. Joe swag, and all you have to do is comment wherever you see this video on our Facebook page, Twitter page or YouTube channel with your best, or in most cases worst, G.I. Joe related Christmas puns. We will announce the winner on the Christmas special dropping on Christmas Day on Friday next week, so good luck, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/TheFullForce, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback or questions. We have also started a Patreon page, so if you want to see your name up in lights on these videos or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/TheFullForce podcast or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.